everyone and welcome to my Flosstube channel, Coco Creates. I'm Zoe and this is Coco and this is my September recap and retreat video from last month. So this is a channel all about my stitching and sometimes a few other bits, but since we have the retreat to go through, I don't think we have time for other bits this month. So yeah, so lots to get through. Let's have a start. So like with most of my videos, we're going to start with my whips. So what I've been working on this month, my works in progress, a little bit of sort of plans for the next month, and then we're going to go into all of my retreat stuff. So what happened on the retreat and things that I bought or won, or various different things there. And so yes, so let's get on to my whips. So this year I have been taking part in Jessie Marie Does Stuff's Whip Go. So it's the first year I've participated, and I basically took my 3 full coverage projects and split them across the Whip Go board. So last month's numbers coincidentally picked the same project for both numbers, and that was my 3 baby dragons piece. So let's squizzle out my photo. So here is what it's going to look like when it's finished, and I will pop in a photo of when it started, or where it was when I started, how it looked at the start of the month. There we go. That seemed a much more confusing sentence than it should have been. And here is, well, I need to preface this a little bit, so before I show you. So I had been really struggling with this chart on markup. So the markup was struggling to distinguish a lot of the symbols, and it was sort of taking me quite a while every time to sort of go back and correct it. However, the chart was only on paper. Now I had since, a lovely lady did comment to let me know that Shinysun did now do digital copies of their charts. So I went over there and purchased the digital copy. Now the owner of Shinysun did let me know that it would be slightly different because the software that she used to chart the digital ones is different to the one that she had previously used to chart the paper copies. But the amount of difficulty I was having with this chart, I thought, you know, I'm going to have to bite the bullet and change it, sort of thing. So luckily the majority of the colours were still the same. So this only uses 25 colours, and I believe 15 of the colours were exactly the same. So 10 of the colours had changed, most of them being the new greys, so like the number 1, 2, 3, those sort of greys. And I tried to sort of feather in a little bit of the old colours to the new colours. And I'm hoping you can't really tell, but also I've realised I don't really care if you can tell, because working with the new chart on Pattern Keeper is so much faster and so much easier, that I'm going to continue doing that. But with all that said, here is my progress. So I'd already done this whole black chunk, so where I'd filled it in where I'd filled in the colour hadn't filled my diagonal. So my plan was to come down here, catch up to these diagonals, and then next time I'll be heading up there to sort of follow this diagonal up and fill in this space. But that will be a job for future me, because this is all of my Whip Go pulls for this month. So I have no more work to put on this this year. This is it done. So yeah, so I will do a close up. So we finished that dragon and started this dragon. There is a candle right here that's sort of shining light down onto this way. But yeah, and so there we go. And then the third dragon is also on the floor over here somewhere, and there's more candles at the top, which you've probably gathered from the photo. There we go, there's 3 candles at the top. But yes, so this here is just over the halfway mark. I think the next stripe down that I would have been doing would have been the centre mark. I think the centre dot is like here somewhere. Obviously I would have had to fill up there, but yeah. so I'm almost halfway. I will show better pictures towards at the end of the year when I do my end of year recap with sort of the full start and finish. But that is this one done for the year. So yeah, I do believe when I started, I had only just started this wing, so I'd done a very small amount. I was on, but so where I started the year, I believe I was on about 7 or 9%. I can't remember if it was 7.9 something or 9.7 something. So, but I will be going through all of that at my end of year review and whip parade. But as of now, it is on just over 44%. So yeah, so I've got a lot of progress in this year, which I am really happy with. And now that it is on Pattern Keeper, I am not quite as stressed about trying to get it completed fast, because Pattern Keeper was a one-off payment, whereas Markup you pay sort of every year. And this is the only chart that I was using Markup for. So it was kind of, I was paying for an app, and then if I didn't stitch on this, I was paying for the app to not use it. But now I'm back onto Pattern Keeper. I've kind of already paid for that, so I'm not as economically inclined to get this finished as soon as possible, which is nice because now it means I can just work on it for fun as opposed to with a deadline. So it is a bit more, I did feel a bit more relaxed doing this, and I actually did I did over my target. So my goal for Whip Go would have been 6,000 because each square for this is 3,000, but I did 6,178 because I really wanted to fill that whole diagonal and sort of catch up to where I was here. And I've sort of finished with, there is a straight line there under that part thread. There we go. Which was quite nice because that line actually is the very tippy top of that wing, that page. So it was a line anyway, which was nice. But yes, so really proud of myself for this one, hitting all of my goals this year. So my so then next project, let's flip this over. Oh, as you can see, I had miscounted somehow, and I had very little room at the bottom there, so I have sewn a piece of extra fabric on just so that I can fit it into the Q-snap, because yeah, I had thought that I'd started in the middle. Obviously I hadn't, or I'd counted wrong. But yes, so my next project was my greenhouse of oddities. So I'll insert a photo of what this is going to look like, so I don't have a printout. This is a chart by Lola Crow, and it was a piece that I had started, I believe last year, perhaps just into the year before, but I'd only done sort of the cage, like the part 1 section, which is just the actual outline of the greenhouse. And then I saw that Joe from Belushi Stitches and Emma, I believe, oh gosh, Emma X Stitching. Don't hold me to that because I could have just completely made that up. But I know Joe was doing a sale this year to try and get it finished this year, sort of one release per month, as the sale would have originally come out, but this year instead of when it originally came out, as a goal to get it finished. So of course I hopped on that one, and I am on time, I am keeping up. So this month, hopefully in that ramble I've inserted where I was last month, but this month was the flower right in the centre, and this was the flower that my sister had started with because she started hers as a centre start. And here it is, and this was a very small piece. This was only 499 stitches, because it was literally just the flower. The butterflies had already done, so just this flower here. And this is a corpse flower, and as is our sort of all with this piece, we are going to learn about the corpse flower, because I recently learned when I was googling this that the flower doesn't always look like this. It actually has 4 stages of life. So I'm going to pop in some photos of what that looks like, because I think one of them is kind of just a stick, which yeah, I sort of hadn't really expected. So here we go. So I brought up the pack that Lola Crow sends with all of her details with some information on, and let's give this a go. So this is the corpse flower, which is also known as the Amorphophallus titanium. When you finish giggling. So it's found in Western Sumatra, but also quite a lot of horticultural sort of museums and gardens across the world because of its allure. So it only blooms once every 7 to 10 years and emits the odour of rotting flesh. So yummy. Which attracts sort of the flies and other insects and beetles that it uses to pollinate it. So apparently it smells like a combination of Limburger cheese, garlic, rotted fish, sweaty socks, sweet flowers and feces. So I suppose very attractive if you are a fly or beetle. But yes. And then once the flower dies, a single leaf the size of a small tree grows in its place. So hopefully I will pop in some photos so that you can see the different stages. Because yeah, I didn't expect it to, I don't really know what I expected it to look like in the intervening years, but it doesn't flower. But the stage is different. It has a tuber, so in the same way that like a potato is a tuber, so it's just underground. So obviously it doesn't really look like anything because it's underground, so a pile of dirt. And then you get the single leaf that grows, which kind of vaguely looks like a tree. And then you grow into the flowering stage that grows this flower, and then once the flower's been pollinated, it then fruits. So then you have the plant fruit, which then that's where you get seeds from to then make more. And that's the cycle, and that takes the 10 years. So yeah, I think, what did it say? The leaf can grow, oh, I skipped it. Where are we going? The leaf can reach up to 15 feet high. So scrolly scroll. Any other fun facts? But yes, so there we go. Some fun facts about the corpse flower. So if you would like to go and see one, and you do not live in Sumatra, there are quite a few sort of gardens and like cultivation societies around the world that have one of these that does pollinate, or I think there is one that self-pollinates somewhere, but I think normally they will sort of collect the pollen and sort of distribute it between the different places to help keep the cycle going. So yeah, so feel free to have a look at that and see what's near you, and if it's near to flowering. I believe the one we've got a queue only flowered not so long ago, so a little bit of a wait for us here. But yes, so there we go. So that was my greenhouse. I believe next month we're coming over to this section. So yes, only three more pieces to go for this one. So very exciting. Oh, and that is on a piece of Megan Coffee Crafts fabric, 32 count, even weave. There's the back of the fabric there, you can sort of see, which is kind of like, it's like a pinky purples and sort of greeny browns mottled, which is quite fun. So and that was pretty much all my stitching for my whips, because then I was going on retreat. Okay, so I did work on one of these projects prior to going to the retreat, but I also worked on it at the retreat, so it's in here, so I'll show you it in a second. But apart from that, I started this on retreats. This was my new start. Oh gosh, my brain. Okay, so now whilst I did work on one of these prior to going to retreat, I also worked on it at retreat, so it's in this pile here. So we will go straight to what I worked on at the Essex Needles retreat. So I didn't go too mad. I did restrict myself to just 3 projects, because I'm in between cars at the moment, so I didn't have a vehicle, so we were going to travel on the train. So I thought, well, we'll better travel light, because, you know, trying to get cases and bags and things on and off a train, as well as myself in the wheelchair, it was too much to then try and take everything. So I thought, well, I'll just take my little lap stand instead of my big floor stand, and I'll take projects that I know I can work on in the lap stand. So that kind of limited what I was taking. So sort of made it a bit easier to just make the decision of what to take. Anyway, without further ado, I had a new start, like promised, because I took my Country Cottage Needleworks mini village. So this is the second one in the series. I started the first one at the March retreat that I went to, and I finished it, but then I never actually worked on any further ones. There are 12 of these to do, one for each month, which I was kind of hoping to have done for next year. I don't know who I thought I was. I am not the person that gets these done in a timely fashion, clearly. But I figured at the next retreat, I better start the second one. Hopefully this won't be a running theme and it's not going to take me like 10 more retreats to get these finished. But, you know, hopefully it won't be quite that long. But yeah, so I did start February's, which is a sort of Valentine's-y themed one. Lots of hearts. Is it going to focus? I don't know. If that's too blurry, I will insert a photo separately. Yes, so my new start. So this, I get these from Megan, Coffee Crafts Fabric. So she sends with it the fabric, chosen fabric, and also some little charm or accoutrement to go with each month, each piece. So I chose the 40 count linen I'm working on. So this is the fabric that I have, and I have been working on this quite a lot. So here's not just my new start, here is almost a finish. But yes, so I think all that's left to do, I have to do these trees on this side, just finish off this little house with the white, I think some clouds, and then the little swoops that I've got. You know, I'm not going to show you the picture again because you can't see the picture. I will insert. There's little swoops there that have love hearts on. Now, in with this month set, she did send some like scissor fob charms that are little hearts, and I'm hoping, now there are 5 here, and because I'm working on the 40 count, which is very small, I know for a fact I'm not going to be able to get all 5 on there, but I am hoping to at least be able to get 1 or 2 onto these swoops. But I might have to sort of rejig where the little hearts are, you know, maybe have 5 on the top and just 3 on the bottom, so that I've got enough room to put the charm in the middle. I'm not quite got that far yet. Once I'm all finished the rest, and it's just the swoops, I will start laying them on and sort of trying to judge the size a bit. But yes, but very nearly finished. So I will be getting this finished this month, because if I don't finish it straight away, it's not going to get done. I might even get it finished today, fingers crossed. But yeah, so a couple of different things I did. I might see if I can put in a zoomed in picture on this, because sort of I can tell that I've done it, but like I know I did it, so I don't know if that's like, you know, when you sort of, there's like a little mistake in something and you know where it is, so you can straight away see it but no one else can. I don't know if I can see it because I know I stitched it like that and no one else can, so you'll have to let me know. So because I'm using the variegated threads, I thought, well, I will try and do the roofs how I would expect a roof to look. So the light pink houses I've done stitched vertically, so the sort of the variegation moves along in that direction. But the dark pink houses, I did think about trying to do them a bit more like tiles. So what I did is I did each individual cross diagonally, and I kind of did like a, oh, I can't remember, there is a word for it because I've heard it before, but I can't remember it. But like I did every other sort of stitch going along, and then went back and filled in the holes, if that made sense. So to hope it looked a bit more sort of higgledy-piggledy like tiles on a roof. That was my theory anyway. But yes, so that's what I did. But yeah, so that is that one, very almost finished. So then that'll be two months done out of my 12. But yes, so I started that one, and that one I did work on sort of once I got home from the retreat as well. So I have done a total of 3,128 stitches on there. Like I said, there's not too much to go, so fingers crossed I'll have that done today. if I have it done before I finish editing, I will pop a photo in, but I don't know if we'll go that far yet. But yes, so my second project I picked up was my avocado toast. So this is a Carolynn designs that I picked up because I saw Dobby was doing this one. She'd chosen this, and I did really love the colours. So I thought, why not start that and sell that with Dobby? So I picked this one up, but also because of the because it's very square, all squares and triangles, I figured it was going to be quite easy to do at the retreat, where I could kind of pick up and, you know, pick it up, do a bit of stitching, then just put it down and sort of chat to someone. So there wasn't going to be too much like thinking involved. Although I will admit I did have to unpick probably the first hour that I stitched on this, because I ended up stitching the wrong colour in the wrong holes, and because it's rotationally symmetric, because it has 2 lines of symmetry, it would have stood out, so I had to unpick, unfortunately. But apart from that, I did get some progress done. So hopefully I've put in all the pictures that you needed to see. So this is worked on a 32 count cloud brown from Fabric Flair, and here it is now. So I don't know if it's showing up, but I have done these stars here, there, and just started filling in that one. But I did 1016 stitches that day on this one. So the bonus being, because a lot of it is just filling in the square, it was very quick to stitch on as well. I wasn't having to look at the pattern much. So once I got the first corner done, it was then just duplicating it all the way around, which was quite nice. So yeah, this is a 32 count even weave using the called for raw broderie Flosstube. Yes, oh, and I got this needle minder from Dobby as well. So of course that has to live on this same project. But yes, and there we go. So that was not as much to talk about with that one. So that was Saturday's project. Or was that Friday's project? I can't remember. That was Friday's project. Oh no, try again. Haha. So then Saturday I re-picked up my Lila Studio Quaker piece. So this is this piece that I'm doing. Oh, excuse the packaging at the bottom. Which is a Quaker Welcome by Lila Studio, and I'm using a thread pack from Paintbox Threads, which is the rose gold pack, and then a brown, dark brown sort of cotton as well. So they are Pearl 12 cottons that I used, and here's where I started at the start of the month. And this month I put in 3,134 stitches in this one, so I got quite a lot of progress done, and I've actually finished my design. So that may be confusing to some people because this is quite a big one. I was never intending to do the whole piece. I was trying to get like I was going to do this bottom piece and finish it into a drum, and then I like this pineapple, so I'm going to be doing that motif separate, which I might do for the top of the drum. But yes, so this is finished. But yeah, so I basically used the colours from the stitch pack and sort of stitched them in where I thought they'd go. So like the leaves were the green shades and the flowers were the pink shades, things like that. The acorn was the browns. Oh, there we go, there's the acorn. It was the brown shades. So I kind of just filled it in logically like that, picking as I went. Now in the centre of the little cartouche, it does have sort of 2 people's initials and the year. I'm just mean, I wasn't sure whether just having my initials would look odd, like out of place, being there. So I spoke to the lovely Jess, CrossStitch Jess on Flosstube, and she did comfort me in the fact she said, no, wait, it won't look, you know, it would look fine, just the 2 initials, but just don't do it in like a dark bold thread, because you know you don't want it to like really stand out too much. She's doing one of the other colours so that it sort of flows nice. I thought, okay. And she did suggest use this large font here for the letters. I did try that and I counted it out, and those letters were slightly too big. I would have had to have the two initials virtually touching, which I think then would have looked, it would look very cramped where they were. So I went onto the stitch font calculator online, and I picked up a backstitch font instead and picked the two letters out from there and stitched those there. So they're my initials. I used the heart, the diamond and the swoosh that were already charted. I added those in, and then I put I just freehanded a little 25 for the year there. But yeah, so now that is all finished, ready to be finished into a drum. Like I said, I'm thinking of putting the pineapple as the top of the drum, so I need to finish, I need to stitch that as well first before I start. But yeah, so this was on a piece of 40 count from Sparkly's, Kate at Sparkly's Threads. This was a piece of rose, pinky rose, rosy pink, one of the two. I can't remember, but yeah, it's a lot pinker than it's showing up on my screen. But yeah, quite fun colour. So that is all ready to be finished, which is quite exciting. But yes, so that was part of a birthday sale with Jenna over at the Red-Headed Stitcher. So I believe she's doing the summer Quaker, which is one that has the like the ocean and the lighthouse and the boat scene in the middle, and then the Quakers all around the edge. So she's doing that one. I believe there's quite a few other people that are doing some of the other seasonal Quakers as well that have hopped on to that. So my last whip that I'm going to show before I get into the actual retreat, sort of what else happened at the retreat, was my Christmas piece. You remember? Now, if you remember last month, I was trying to work out what I had left to stitch. So if you remember last month, I was getting a little bit confused with this one over what I had left to do, because I thought that I wasn't quite as far through this as it appears I was. But then I picked up this to start my, I suppose technically it would have been the October piece, because I already found myself a month ahead, and I thought, well, I'll just do, you know, a day's stitching on it, because the pieces were very small, the sections that I had left to finish. So I thought, well, I'll just stitch on it for the day because I'm out this evening, so I'm only going to get a few hours stitching in. So I started stitching on it. Anyway, the plans for that evening got cancelled, and I thought, well, I can't bother to go and like change my project now, so I'll just work on it for the rest of the day. It'll be fine. And anyway, so I worked on it the rest of the night, and then the next morning I got up and I had a look at the chart, and there was so little left to do. I just thought, I'm just going to finish it. So I put in 1,880 stitches into this piece, and it is all finished. Every stitch, all done. But yeah, so there we go. I was going to take this to the retreat to show off, and I completely forgot. So I'm very upset about that. I forgot quite a few things, but still. So yeah, all sorted and finished. I also found out, if any of you remember, when I was doing my 24 hours of CrossStitch, I said that the border hadn't quite met up. There was like a gap over here somewhere that shouldn't have been there. And yeah, and I did find, as I was filling in all of this, I think this motif, I did one stitch too close there. So that's where I'd lost the gap. So then over here, I found the gap. But yeah, so at least I found where I'd gone wrong, but still, I mean, the border matched, you know, nicely anyway, so it wasn't too bad. But yeah, so there it is, all finished. So I'm hoping to get this fully finished for Christmas this year to go up with the decor. I'm going to be finishing this into like a wall hanging, as opposed to framing it so that it can sort of be rolled up to put away for Christmas, rather than trying to pack a frame with glass in or anything. Mainly because the size, it would be quite a heavy frame. So yeah, so I just need to pick some Christmassy fabric to go on the back. But yeah, so there is what I did at the bottom. So sort of these dark pieces along and finish the candles. But yeah, there it is, all done. So let's do a pan. So yes, need to get that fully finished this coming month or in November, so that it can go up on the wall or the back of the door, ready for Christmas. So yes, very exciting having that all finished. So that was stitched using the called for DMC that is on the back of the so for the version that's on the back of the chart. So this is Red Christmas by Jardin Prive, all that I probably should have said at the start, in the red version, but I saw the green version at the Knit and Stitch show where I went, and really liked the greens, so I did that. And yeah, used the called for as it says on the back. Stitch where it was. But yeah, so that is all finished. But yeah, so that was 2 finishes this month, so very exciting. And potentially a finish for October, because I'm going to be finishing that the little mini village. But yeah, so yes, very exciting. So this month in total, that was 15,835 stitches, which once I bank those into my stitchy fund and spent the stitches on the new start I had, that's left me with 41,554 stitches still to spend, which is good, because coming towards the end of the year I'm starting to line up some of my sort of new year new starts, and obviously I need that fund to spend on those. So yes, so getting that. So I think one of the projects that I'm planning to start in the new year has been covered by that. I'm just gonna have to work out if I can stitch enough to earn myself the other new start that I'm hoping to have. But yes, so that was all my actual stitching for this month. That took 45 minutes, which was longer than I expected. But yes, so a couple of plans for next month. So Jessie Marie did her rolls for October. So the whip go rolls. Whip go. Where are we? Oh, pages. Here we go. And I believe she pulled up number 6 and number 17, which for me, so I have my whip go board here, is my animals piece and my bath time piece. So my bath time is this one, so it'll be 4,000 stitches on each of these, and then my animal kingdom that I haven't picked up for ages, so really looking forward to get back onto that. I'm quite glad that it was one call for bath time and one call for the animals piece, because at the minute I still have or is it 1, 2, 3? Well, I have 4 calls for the animal kingdom and 2 for the bath time still to pull. And I was hoping that I would get, you know, a bath time each month instead of together. So yeah, so at least over the next 3 months, I do get to split out my animal kingdom stitching, because that is a max colour piece and that is a lot of work. And each square is 4,000 stitches. So yeah, that's a lot. But there we go. So yes, so that is all of my stitching recap that I did over September. Oh gosh, I can't even remember the months. And yeah, so now we're just going to get on to the retreat, and there is something else I bought that wasn't the retreat, but then anything I bought at the retreat, or sort of goodies I picked up from the D-stash table, things like that. So yeah, so if you're not as bothered about the retreat, then that's the end of my video, and I will see you soon. But yes, let's crack on with what happened last weekend. Okay, so first, what I probably better show is what I bought that was not at the retreat. So this was something that Lauren, I believe, at Stitch Bunny, and Rachel at the Talking Dog basically ordered some, oh hiccups, like jellyfish and starfish designs on this place, and I thought, well, I'll go have a look and see what's on there. So this is a Ukrainian shop. What is it? Suzeraya and Noroga. There's the shop at the top, and it's UniCStitch. So UniCStitch is their website. But yeah, so the shipping isn't necessarily cheap, but if you're buying a few bits, you know, it works out. Or I believe they actually paired up. Sorry, let's open the door. There you go. So I believe Lauren and Rachel sort of paired up, so they split the shipping. But yeah, so I bought a few goodies from there. As you can see, I went for bumblebees. So I picked 3 of theirs. So this is Honeymagic, which is a honeybee with a cauldron inside a fortune crystal ball. There we go, crystal ball. I picked up this one, which is a bumblebee that uses, it does say, Teller Artist fluffy threads. So this is a bumblebee because this is all fluffy like a bumblebee. And then this one is a queen bee that comes with a little crown and an ornament there. So there we go. Have I got one of, which one of these did I open? I did open one of these. No, I didn't. Okay, let's open one together then, shall we? Where's there we go. Let me grab my little scissors. Please hold. There we go. There we go. So let me pop those 2 down and let's unbox this one together. So I had seen their unboxing, so I sort of knew what to expect, which I think is why I didn't bother actually opening my one. But yeah, but here's how it opens up. And let's see what we've got. So yeah, so that's just a stock picture, 5 inches. Also a partial picture of the queen bee that I've got on there. And then we get a little envelope which has some of the cord and the beads and the needles in. So that comes like that. And we've got the threads that are all bound up like this. Obviously you can see that sort of fluffy thread poking out there, so the fluffy ones. But yeah, so a little floss card with the threads on. What else? We've got the chart, which seems quite big. It says instructions, you know, the key, all the beads, where to attach to the frames, all the instructions. Yeah, sort of made instructions that are both written in Ukrainian and then in English. So all the instructions with photos and QR code for useful videos, and a link to the schematic file. So yeah, so I'm assuming that might be like a PDF version of the pattern. Yes, so lots of pictures of instructions of how to put it together. And then here we have the chart, which we have both a black and white, and then which is just the cross stitch, and then sort of, there's 2 pieces, and then the second one has all the back stitch and the beads on it in full colour, so you can see where they go. And then on the back it's marked where you would attach it to the frame. Oh gosh, more goodies. So this is the wooden frame. So this is, it's wooden with like a metallic relief on the front, and the charms that hang down off the bottom, so they're already attached. And then last piece is the let me take this out. Oh, so there's 2 pieces in here. Well, actually there's more than 2 because these are separate. So you get the little foam piece that you would use onto the back, so white for the wings, black for the body. So there's your 3 pieces there. And then this, which says, hello, I'm a small, flexible and a great base for embroidery. I really want you to embroider your crazy crosses on me. But yeah, and this is, it's like a plastic. But yeah, and it's pre-pierced with all the holes you'll need on one side. So you've got maybe there's a right and a wrong side. I don't know if I can quite tell. I mean, it's a symmetrical design, so I'm sure if there was a right and a wrong, it would say somewhere on the chart, but it is symmetrical, so I should assume it's, you know, whichever side you pick. But yeah, so you go, so you can see all the pierced holes, and yeah, and it's sort of quite, it's a flexible piece of plastic, but yeah, that you can back it all onto. So yeah, so very fancy. So eek. Try and get all of that back in the little envelopes. But yeah, and it all comes with the relevant things. So I suppose if you mix some of your packets up, they're all printed with actually which design they go to. But yeah, so that looks like it'll be quite a fun sort of little project, and probably more of a like a portable project, because you're just stitching on the plastic. You don't have to worry about frame or anything. I'm thinking a bit like the Mill Hill minis. You know how they are transportable. Right, let's try and. Now comes the trick of getting it all back into the box. Haha. Threads, beads, needles, picture. There we go. It fits back in the box. See, if I can get it back in there in the box, anyone can. But there we go. So yeah, so I've got 3 of those to have a look at. So they might be quite easy for me to do, sort of like if I'm watching sort of the TV or something, or a film. Because when I'm out here in my stitching spot, I have my floor standing on my frame. But since they're not going to need a floor stand because it's the plastic you're holding, they will be handy for watching in front of the telly. So yes. Anyway, retreat stuff. Now I had an impromptu unboxing. Now we can get onto the retreat stuff, which I wonder if will this let me turn? But yes. So this here I will talk about first. Excuse all the mess at the top. I normally get to hide that from you all, but yes. So please please don't look. But this trolley was from that I picked up from the D-stash from Teresa, little stitcher. So it's quite a tall trolley, but the reason I picked this one up is because I did have this one down here, this little blue one, but as you can see, it's very small, and Coco doesn't quite fit in the top of it, but I thought this big one, Coco will fit in the top of. So she's not in it at the minute because all of my stuff to show you is, but I do have a little cushion that I put in the top, like a little soft cushion, and she tends to sit in there and watch me stitching when I don't let her sit on my lap. So hopefully she will become a bit more inclined to stitch there soon, because at the minute she kind of sits there like, out of sufferance because I won't let her sit on my lap. But yeah, hopefully she'll learn to like it. That's the goal anyway. So what happened at the retreat? So before I get into D-stash, I did want to share something that we did at the retreat, because there was a class put on by the lady that runs Haystack Stitching. So Carolynn runs Haystack Stitches. But yeah, she picked up these 3 business cards that had a little chart on the back. There's a couple of different designs. I picked this one, just I quite like the colours of that one. But anyway, she was running a class over the weekend of finishing techniques and how to do she calls it a one-sided ladder stitch for finishing. But yeah, so she made us a handout with lots of details and pictures and things in, as well as some links to the Royal School of Needlework, so the RSN website. I will pop a link to the RSN website because they actually do have hundreds of different stitches and like tutorials for the stitches on their website. So I'll pop a link to the RSN below. But yeah, and she was teaching us how to do a joining technique, which is what the one-sided ladder stitch is. And basically we had to bring a piece of fabric, so I took the other end of my welcome stitching, and how to join two pieces using a stem stitch and then the one-sided ladder. Now, I don't know if you can see it here, but I'm very proud of my little piece that I managed to do. So obviously I didn't have two pieces to join, so I just folded in the middle and like pretended there was two pieces. But yeah, so on the back you've got your two lines of stem stitch, but then on the front you have a decorative line here of like the front of the stem stitch, which the other side of the stem stitch, which is basically a back stitch, and that I've done in the brown so that it shows up. But then the one-sided ladder stitch I've actually done in the pale pink thread, which was a very similar colour to this, if you remember, out of the pack that I used for the welcome samplet, so that it kind of almost blends in and is invisible. But yeah, you can kind of see there's the little blobs that go across, but that is a very pretty border. And she's also taught us how to finish it if you were to use beads in there as well, so how to add beads to the edge, or sort of how to add maybe a four-sided stitch, or I suppose any other decorative stitch, but how you would stitch that in and then be able to use this as the joining at the edge. So if you were stitching a pincushion, a drum, perhaps a biscornu, although normally you do that with a whip stitch because you want it on the bias. But yeah, any other thing, or to just make a decorative edge on a little small piece that you would finish that you don't really want framing. So like some of the small samplers and things, how you would be able to sort of, you know, do the edge. You would be able to like roll the fabric at the top and then stitch those two edges together to hide a seam, sort of thing. So yeah, so lots of different applications for this stitch. And yeah, and she sort of took a couple of groups of us, probably about 10 to 15 of us, and sort of one-to-one virtually went round and got us making sure we were doing the knew what we were doing and doing it correct, sort of thing. But yes, so that was very interesting, and I am looking forward to using that to finish my drum. She also gave us some tips on drum finish as well, separate to that, but I'll have to look into some of those as well. And then we've got the fly to take home to remind us again later. But yes, so we did that class. What other things did we do at the retreat? We did a bingo, which unfortunately I didn't win the bingo, but our Dobby, she did win the bingo. It was her first proper time playing bingo, and yes, it was very exciting because she won, so I was very excited for her. I do believe she's taking her winning bingo ticket home to have specially framed, because it's her first one. But yeah, so she got to win a prize. So we had that one night. We also had the raffle, which we used this month. It was for the air ambulance? Oh gosh, now that I've said it, I'm second guessing myself. I will audio dub that if it is not them. But yes, so the local air ambulance to Essex. We raised, I believe it was about £750, 760, you know, something like that, from the raffle to go to the charity. I did win a couple of bits off the raffle, which I will actually, they're at the top, so I will show you those now. So yeah, so I think quite a few people on my table won things from the raffle, which was quite nice. But the raffle table does seem to be get quite full, so there is always lots of people donating lots of prizes to there, a variety of stitching stuff, fabrics, kits, charts, wine, chocolates, other sort of handmade bits and bobs, notions pouches, project pouches. There was the prize of the what would you call it, like the top prize sort of thing of the raffle, which my mum did actually win, so everybody was very, very sad when that went, but I do have that to show you all as well. So first of all, my prizes from the raffle. So I won a pack of this gold Ada. So I'm not normally a fan of Ada, so I'm going to have to see how easy this is to work, because it is the gold sparkly Ada, which would be great for some of the wintry smalls that I'm thinking of doing for Jason CrossStitch's winter connection. So yeah, so I'm hoping that I'll be able to do a couple of little smalls on this for that. And then I also won this one, which is a Halloween pattern, so it was very on brand for the time of year. And this is a Little Dove Designs cross-stitch kit. Now I do have one of Little Dove's other patterns, so very looking forward to this. We've got cats, we've got bats, we've got pumpkins, we even have a skeleton on here. So yes, so very much looking forward to that. I believe this does come with the full kit with the with Ada fabric, which I will likely be swapping out to a linen or even weave. But we'll see what it looks like. But yes, so I won that one. And then yes, of course, everyone that has been waiting, this was the prize of the box. This is a handmade, so this is one of the retreat guests, Liz, one of her friends makes these, and she picked up these to put in the raffle. So it's a handmade, and it's like a sewing box. So here is the cover. It's all cover lid. It's all been hand stitched, hand folded. It's like a button in the middle there. Box like this, and we take the lid off. Ooh. And it opens out a little bit. Ooh. Something else in there that didn't come with it. That's something she bought, but she's actually forgotten, I believe, she put that in there. And here it is. So it's octagonal, and the edges are sewn, so it doesn't go completely flat. But yeah, so you've got pouches in here, bands to like tuck things behind, and a mix of pouches, and then like the bottom, which is just fabric covered as well. And yeah, so it is very exciting, all handmade. So she's not yet filled it up, but I'm sure it won't take long. But yes, and then the inside of the lid is also covered in the fabrics as well. So, oh, my clumsy hands. But yes, so yeah, there was a very audible sigh from everybody in the room when Mum went and picked this up from the raffle table. But yes, so very exciting to have. Also, just to show you, because she left this in there, she picked this up from Megan, Coffee Crafts Fabric Shop. So it's a Rendell Designs, just a little needle tin. Got one in the middle, just a little storage tin. I have one of these that I use to keep some of my needles in. I actually use it not for my cross-stitch needles, but I use it to keep my knitting needles, so the bigger ones, and like stitch markers and things in. So I don't know what she's going to use it for. We'll have to wait and see. It has bobbins on there. So yeah, so that is what we got from the raffle. What else did we do? Right, I'm back again. So we also, on the first night, we had a pass the parcel as well. So I believe Teresa and Ellie, they'd made up like a little parcel for each of the 4 big tables, and we had a version of pass the parcel. Where when it stopped on a certain person, they had to answer a sort of yes, no, true or false question in order to determine if they could open a layer of the parcel. So that was quite interesting. All sort of stitchy related questions going round. But yes, and I believe Jess actually managed to get the final wrapping, so she won the bigger prize that was in there. But there was a few other bits in some of the other layers that the ladies won, so that was quite fun going round on the first night. But yes, so I believe that was all sort of what happened, what we did. Obviously then it was lots of getting to chat with people that I hadn't seen, mainly that I hadn't seen since the previous retreat, so I hadn't seen them for 6 months. So getting to sort of have a good catch up with people. Unfortunately I wasn't feeling so good that weekend, so I didn't get to do as much sort of going around and talking as I would have liked. I had a bit of a labyrinthitis spell, literally the morning we were going. So I think had our train been booked any earlier in the day, I don't think I would have been able to go at all. So it sort of took a few hours to sort of stabilise, and then I thought, I think I might be okay, sort of thing. It was one of those. But yeah, so it sort of took a few days for me to recover from that. So it then meant those few days that it took me to recover were the few days of the retreat, which was really quite sad. But I did get to chat with sort of, you know, a few people that and a few people sort of came over to me to chat with me as well, which was quite nice. But yes, I got to go and have a quick look at the sort of bring and brag table. My mum has a bring and brag, but she doesn't have it here because it has been sent away with the lovely Robert from Hawkins Hobbies with Serena, and he's going to get that all framed up ready for the next retreat, so the next time we see them, to go and get that. So I do have another recording that I'm going to put as its own thing, so it'll be like a long short video just of us washing that piece, and then what it looked like sort of after washing, because I know some people can be very nervous of washing pieces and aren't always sure why or how to do things. So I took a video, and it was our first time using the dial-on colour catchers. So yeah, so I did a quick video as we were doing that, that I have a voiceover to, that I will put in. I'll be uploading this month as a separate sort of little 5-minute video, and on there you will get to see it as it was finished before it was sent off. But yes, you will have to tune back in a few months to see it when it is all framed and finished, because I don't know what sort of frames or mounts she picked, so that's going to be a complete surprise for me. But yes, so what else happened? But yeah, so I got to go over and see a few people. So I saw the obviously Ellie and Teresa. Saw fuck's sake. Also saw Susie. Susie makes project bags, and the I got it here. She is the lady that made, talk amongst yourselves, haha, the portfolios. So this is what I tend to take on retreat, which it's still got some of my retreat stuff in. So 2 zippered pouches that are vinyl fronted. So you've got two here, one there and that side, and then just sort of 2 large pouches in the back. But yes, and this is what I tend to take on retreat. So I decant my projects into here with basically the bare minimum that I need for the project for the retreat. So the threads and the fabric and the pattern basically. But yeah, they get decanted into this, and I can get comfortably, I've managed to get 3 or 4 projects in this like that, especially if sort of the patterns tend to be on my phone, like on Pattern Keeper, because then all that I'm putting in here is some threads and fabric. But yeah, so she makes these. But yes, I had also had my first go at making some notions pouches, so I took one to her to sort of ask a few questions about, and sort of get her opinion on a few bits that I wasn't too sure of, or I hadn't managed to do the way I wanted, and was like, is there a better way, like an easier way? So yeah, so she's helped me with that. So stay tuned for some more sewing that may appear in the future. But yeah, so there's also Susie. Also saw Claire, who I'm still waiting, Claire, for you to put some more videos on Flosstube. So but who else we had? Then we had Jackie. I don't know what I'm pointing over here for. It's because she was sat behind me at the retreat, but she's clearly not behind me right now. But yeah, so Jackie, who I actually met as we got off the train, waiting for the shuttle bus to come. So met her there and her sister-in-law. So met them, and then on my table, obviously we had the lovely Dobby, and we had Jess. So it was Jess's first retreat. So you'll have to head over to her channel because she's done she's also done a retreat recap video on there. Then of course I had my mum and my sister that went with me, so they were on the table as well. We had Kiara, who does the oh gosh, I'm gonna have to insert it in here, the pattern reader app. It's not an app, hers is a website, so which is really handy because it means you can access those files from any device. But I will have to write that in here because I cannot think of the name, so she runs that one. And then we had Alison, who always does such fancy little finishes. Who else we had on my table? We also had Sandy, Sue, Susan, Sharon, Sharon's Crafty Creations, Julie was on there, Alessandra was there as well. We had Joe, and then we also had Louise, who I found out, I think it was the third day we were having lunch and just doing a general chat about, you know, how far has everyone come and where we were from, and I mentioned where I was from, the city. Well, actually I didn't think of that. I think I mentioned the distance, so I said, oh, I'm from about an hour north, and she was like, oh, okay, you know, whereabouts? And then I sort of said where I was from, and she was like, that's where I live, like like whereabouts? And so yeah, we found we literally live 5 minutes away from each other, right here. So which came in very handy, because when I bought this trolley from Teresa, it then occurred to me that being on the train, I was like, I don't know how I'm going to get this home. I was like, it might fit in the suitcase, it might not. But luckily Louise was there, and she was like, oh, she's like, I don't mind, I'll you know, I'll bring it, take it home for you and then pop it round. So yeah, so she brought it all the way home for me in her car and popped it round to me on Monday, which is very nice, thank you. But yes, so like I said, lots of people there. Obviously also got to meet our lovely shop friends. So we had Rachel from Talking Dog, who was also on my table. We had Lauren from Stitch Bunny, who was there. We had Carolynn from Haystack Stitching. We had Megan from Megan Coffee Crafts Fabric. We had, oh gosh, I can't remember the lady's name, but the Stitchamajig lady was there. And then the lady from Love Poppet, who I also can't remember whose name is. Right. Someone was crying at the door. Okay, so yes, so lots of people there, lots of shops. So obviously I had to do some shopping. So I bought lots of bits and pieces. In my defence, I did also sell quite a few pieces on the de-stash table. So, you know, I didn't actually spend that much money. That is my excuse, and I shall be sticking to that. So should we start with goodies that I got first? Because I did also get some lovely goodies from a few people. Oh gosh. So first of all, what I got one of these from the lovely Dobby. So I think she brought Jess and my mum, my sister, myself and herself, some of these with initials on that she has filled with some goodies. So in here we have some chocolates, we have DMC thread. She brought me a couple of needle minders, so I had the little frog one and then the cat one as well. So that says, I'm fine, it's just my face. So yes. So there's also I think, a carabiner, some tea, which is good. Like I said, some chocolates, a DMC 310, which I never have enough of. I always seem to be buying this colour, and yet I never seem to have any of this colour in my house. So I think it must be growing legs and running away. But yes, and some lovely chocolates in there. But yes, so I've got this from the lovely Dobby. And then I picked up a few of the gifts, sort of people had left on the tables. Also who was there was a couple of the lovely ladies from the Sunshine Stitchers. So they brought round, and it took me a minute to work out what it was that they'd brought round, but it was these. Okay, which are, as I managed to work out after a little bit of prompting from a couple of other people, are like flexible, like hoops to put your bobbins on. I don't know if that's what specifically they're for, but that's so to put the bobbins on, as opposed to like one of the big sort of metal rings that I've got. But yes, and then you can also join these together if you wanted a bigger one. So yeah, so actually these seem quite handy, and I might have to look at getting some more of these. So they're just like a bound wire, a bit like the wire that Chagoon knitting needles have, if that makes sense. So whilst it is flexible, it will return to its original form afterwards. So we've got one of those, and then I came back to the table one day and found we had one of these, a lovely lady from the Netherlands. So it is a little clog that's been painted. So a little key ring, key charm. Oh, got my finger stuck in that. Then unfortunately Lindsay from Blushing Pink Stitches couldn't be there, but she had made us all a needle minder, which says every stitch counts, and it's Essex Needles Retreat September 25. It's got one of those. And then another lady who, oh, I'm running out of space, haha, I did not think this through. So, and some of these appeared on the de-stash table, but yes, so little notions pouches, so sort of box bottom, snaps in the top. And I also picked up one of these, which is like a double pointed needle holder. So for your knitting needles, you pop them in there, and then it stops your yarn coming off the edges. So yes, so double pointed knitting needles. And yes, hello Coco. Yes, hello. Oh, you want to come back up? Oh, again. Come on then, help. Oh. Baby, baby, baby. I'm going to at least look at the people. Right, you sit there, don't move. Right, so other goodies from the de-stash table that I picked up. So this someone had finished on the finishes table, but I do love my sunflowers, so I picked up that. And then Alison heard that I love my sunflowers, so she had this on the de-stash table that does have a whole set of sort of sunflower designs in it that she had got from Zweigart. So let's see, can I flick through quickly and find, oh, there we go. So all those designs there. So got my sunflowers. What else did I pick up? I picked up this from Sue. Now, Sherry from Just So Sherry, I'm pretty sure she did this, or she did one of these range. So Pretty Bird from the Artsy Housewife, and I really love the colours on some of these, and it does just use DMC. Yes, just uses DMC. But yes, but I love all of the rainbow colours in that bird. So I picked that up from there. Also, the Acorn one. Now I know Stuart in Stitches, I'm pretty sure he is also stitching this one. I think he's changing the colour of the thing at the bottom, basket at the bottom, which I might do as well, try and make it a bit more autumnal. But yes, is he stitching it with Pam? Ditsy Daisy Crafts? But yes, so I picked up that, and then I popped over to Rachel's shop and picked up the fancy thread that goes with that one. I also found that one, which will go with my other Primrose Cottage Stitches Bumblebee sets. I saw this one. I very much love this one. So it says, if you are reading this, then you are blissfully unaware of what is creeping up behind you. And that was also on the finishes table. So very much looking forward to that one. Then I picked up my second Tiny Town. So this will go with my Bumblebee one, and this is the Halloween Tiny Town. But yes, so with the ghosties. Then I saw this, and Caffeinated Crafter Jen is stitching this kit, and I believe she has she started, I believe, up in this side, because she's finished like the cat's face and she's working down, but I saw that and thought, yes, I have to get that. Cats and books, of course. So I have to get that one. And then I managed to pick up a stack of patterns from Liz, and we brought a load over. So she had this book here, which I'm not going to do a full flip through. This is CrossStitch Designs from China, but now some of these charts are very small. Let's see, can I find the one that really came up for me? But yes, so I really love these little borders on towels. I love the colours on those. Which, I mean, the chart itself, it's 200 stitches and it fits on one page. So you can see the chart is very small. So I might have to sort of scan that in to the computer and like blow it up. But yeah, and what else do we have? There's Chinese zodiac board there, and then there's this one, which is the phoenixes, which I really liked as well. Again, that's quite a large design, so that is yeah, just over 200 square, and that's the whole chart. So yeah, so it's definitely going to be one that I need to scan off and blow up. But yes, I know there are some at the back that are slightly bigger, but like black and white versions, so they're slightly bigger, but I still don't think they're quite big enough for me to work from. So yeah, so if you get this book, just be aware that a lot of the charts you're going to want to sort of scan out and blow up. But yes, so other goodies. Now some of these were free, but this one wasn't. So this one she had in there, and basically to donate to the animal charity that is over in Spain where she lives. That I was responsible for trapping, neutering and releasing the stray cats and that are out there. And as soon as I saw this one, I thought, oh yes, I have to have this one. I've never done one of these before. I do have one of hers to do, but I know a lot of people tell me that it's a lot of work, and I'm like, what is cross stitch? Like, how much work could it be? But I suppose I will find out soon. So this is the Teresa Wentzler peacock tapestry. So look at that peacock, look at that tail, look at that. But yes, it is a hand-drawn chart. The label on it still has a fax phone number, so that will tell you how old it is. Are there any dates, anything in this? Nope, but there's the floss list. So yeah, lots of blends, lots of notes, lots of backstitch. Oh, there you go, copyright 1999. So yeah, there's that one. So this, I think I might have to do a little bit of like research into it, because a lot of people say that it's a lot of work. I don't just want to start stitching and then think, oh no. So I might have to have a look on some of the Facebook groups and just see, you know, is there anything I should be looking out for? And can I start somewhere on the chart that there are not those things, so it's a bit easier. But yes, so in addition, what I also picked up was this is a Teresa Wentzler, but a much smaller design. So two funky birds with their borders. And then I picked up this one with some cats in, but mainly for that one design there with the kitten. They're so cute. More cats. Whoops. Cats in cross stitch. Again, I really liked these two designs, like the little squares. They're very sweet. Then I picked up this one, which is a Paula Vaughan. I'm not as keen on some of Paula Vaughan's designs, but this one with the Singer machine, I thought that's really pretty. And then some short and sassy sayings, mainly for the sayings. Whether I actually stitch them completely like that is another matter. But yes, some quite fun sayings. Some quite dated sayings as well. Some quite dated, especially about food. But yes. But also some quite fun ones. So I picked that one up as well. Oh, let's decant some of that. Right. what else have I got? Okay, that was all de-stash. Now on to purchases. So shopping. So I'm going to start at the top of my pile and work down. It's in no particular order. It's basically in the order that I put it in the pile. So there we go. So we'll start with the biggest thing first, which is this one. Now, I was going to purchase something from Susie's store. However, despite it still being on the store and still being there and not having been paid for yet, my mother had claimed that as her own. So I was not allowed that. So, but I saw this instead and I picked this up from Stitchamajig from her stall. And it is a project bag, so with a vinyl cover there, and there is embroidery on the back panel of a lovely gold snake with a peony and the sun, and then the fabric on the back is these snakes, which I very much love. I do have some charts for snakes sort of like this with flowers and that are on my list to do at some point, as everything is. It's like I will do them at some point. But yes, and a good zipper pull, so which is handy because I could do with some bigger zipper pulls like this on other things, so I need to learn to make something like that. But yes, and yes, I'm talking of Susie's still. I did buy something from Susie, which was a smaller grime guard, so a 6-inch grime guard, because I find that when I'm using Q-snaps, I tend to mix and match between quite a few different sizes, so I never have the right size Q-snap for the size that I'm doing. So I thought, well, I know I needed a smaller one and I needed a bigger one than what I have. So I couldn't find a bigger one, but I could find a smaller one. And see if I can spread this out a little bit so you can see without the ruffles. So this has like cupcakes and teacups on it as a teapot. Yes, so lots of sort of afternoon tea style on this one. So this is a 6-inch one. I have I think an 11-inch, and I need to make a bit of a bigger one. But yes, but hopefully I might be able to make a bigger one. That will be my job between now and March, and if I have not successfully managed to make one before March, I will be messaging Susie and asking if I can just buy one off her instead. So there we go. Now, other shops that I went to. Obviously I already told you that Zarina and Rob were there from Hawkins Hobbies. So I picked up a couple of mill hills from there, so some more of the autumn collection. That I probably really should start stitching these. Might have to start one on Halloween. But yes, picked up those two. And then another one of the spring collection, which was the peony, which is one of my favourite flowers. And it has a little bumblebee there, which is a bumblebee charm. I don't know if you can see it amongst the beads, but there's the bumblebee button there. Then I went to Haystack Stitching, like I said, with Carolynn, and she had, there was a full-size sampler of a Bristol orphanage sampler, but Carolynn charted up that chart, and then she's also charted this using some motifs from that chart, and I saw this fully finished on the table, and it was absolutely gorgeous, and it was very cute with the like the little sort of scissor keeps, scissor fobs, and the needlebook. So I picked up that one to do, so I can practice my, my new finishing joining stitches on that one. And then I saw this, which is a seasons set, and obviously we have the cats in summer, so I had to buy this one. So there's 4 little smalls. That I picked up to stitch as well. So that was from Haystack Stitching. Then Lauren was there from Stitching Bunny with her needle minders and a few other goodies. So I picked up a scissor fob that has, if I can get it the right way, that has a little raven cabochon just there and there, to go with another pair of scissors I bought from somewhere else. But then I saw these scissors that I absolutely fell in love with. So they're, 2 tones. So you've got like the rainbow opal and then the rose gold scissors, and they're very sharp, and they had that proper click click sound. But then she also does needle minders, and she had an offer on, so it was 4 for a certain price. So obviously I had to buy 4 then. and these are the ones I got. So I've got, these two have cats on. So we've got Perfect Brew there, and this one says, every stitch you make, every skein you take, every strand you break, I'll be watching you, which is very much my gizmo. If ever you're sorting the threads out, she just appears out of nowhere to come and try and chew on the ends of your threads. So yes, and then I saw these two as well. So this one says, if you see me with a seam ripper, now is not the time, which is that one there. And then this one, which I believe is also charted as a full coverage, but I just couldn't bring myself to get another full coverage on the go. But when I saw she had it as a needle minder, yeah, that will do as a needle minder for now. So it is a sugar skull lady with some cacti, and it says pricks everywhere. But yes, so there's that one too. Oh, try and stick those on there. Then I went around the corner to Love Poppet. Oh gosh, let's put those down before I drop those very sharp scissors. And I picked up some goodies from her. So there's some Merchant & Mills scissors. These ones have a very nice snap on them, and they are the black ones, so they will go with my new scissor fob that I bought. And then she had some needle minders. So these are laser cut wooden ones, and this is a bumblebee. So you can see they're quite big, and it has a wooden back as well, which I suppose technically you could add another magnet on and have that as two needle minders instead, because that is very pretty. But yes, so sort of a laser cut bumblebee that I picked up. Then I also picked up some more thread gloss, mainly because I didn't take any wax with me because I thought I won't need that. And then within about an hour of me being there, I had to do some frogging and then needed some wax, so I had to borrow some from someone else. So when I saw that, I thought, okay, I'm gonna have to pick up another one of these. And this is a Solux Co thread gloss. So I picked up the cinnamon bun scented one because I already had the pumpkin spice. So yeah, and you use it just like the wax you would wax. So it's just in a tin. But yes, so I picked that one up. It's quite strong actually. I've just got a whiff of that as I opened it. Then I saw some of these, and these are very much my autumn colours. But yes, so these are, I don't know if they're 3D printed, I think, but yeah, they have a love heart in the middle and then two little holes at the bottoms there. So the set of, I don't know, 10, was that 2, 4, 6, 8, 10? Yeah, so all in lovely autumnal colours for there. So, oh, it's on another one of those flexi rings. There we go, I hadn't even noticed that. But yes, they will come in handy for some of the fancy threads that I've got. So like bobbins tend to go in like my boxes, but the fancy threads I tend to have on the hoops. So that will come in handy for some of those. And then I picked up some charts. So this one I've been looking at for a while. It's a bumblebee, of course. So this is called Be Kind. So these are just the charts, not the kits. So yeah, all of her kits use, I believe just all of them used DMCs. So they should be quite easy to chart up. And then I had to get the sister piece to that, which is the ladybug. It's got the flowers there. So yes, I love the sort of the decorative design. So this one's got flowers in there. Where are we? And then this one has one large flower in the middle. There we go. Right, then I also picked up the fancy peacock and the blackbird. I've also got the wren in this set, so here's the blackbird with the winterberries. But yes, so also Megan Coffee Craft Fabric was there. So she, instead of posting this out, she dropped this to me at the retreat. So this is the August Monthly Village, which is like a seasidey one. So I also have a starfish charm that she's included there to add on. So it's like seaside sort of beach huts, beach houses on there. There's that one. And then I did pick up some fabrics, but she also brought her sort of scraps box. So I picked up a few sort of scraps as well from her. So like offcuts and things. So I got a very long sort of light grey piece that I thought would work nicely for just as a marking sampler, because I've got a few bits. Now that I'm adding sort of alphabets to things, I thought I could do with actually stitching some of the alphabets that I find, rather than having to kind of continually go and sort of find them on my phone, so I can stitch them there. I picked up this piece, which is a piece of Ada, but I just loved the colours. So there's like really dark pinks in there and some purples. So I thought that was a perfect Halloweeny colour. Then another kind of quite long piece, but just all mottled greys, which is very pretty. So again, that's an Ada there. But I thought, well, you know, a few small pieces I could do on an Ada and see how I get on. Especially a piece that's been dyed, because there's no sizing in it, which would be good. Another very Halloweeny colour, which is sort of lime greens, like a key lime pie style greens. But yes. And then this piece, which I did think yesterday about what I could do on this piece, and now I've completely forgotten whatever it was that I was thinking of stitching on here. I mean, I'm sure it'll come to me again, but yeah. So this is a opalescent, sort of black and beige, black and brown sort of piece with the sort of green opalescence. It's going to bug me now that I can't remember what I was going to stitch onto there. And then I did have another couple of pieces of fabric that I picked up. So a piece of her sort of blueberry swirl, or like raspberry swirl. It's kind of yellows and pinks. I will show you those two in a sec, because they're for projects. Then I had this piece, which sort of goes, you know, we have some greeny kind of dirty sort of greeny brown colours and some oranges. There's pinks, there's purples, there's like bright pinks down here, so kind of a bit of everything. That is also an opalescent. I thought that just looked very fun, that piece with all the different colours. So I thought this might work well for like a monochromatic piece, something like a long dog, where I can just use, you know, a white or a black, you know, a plain thread, and then really let all those colours shine through. I also saw this piece, which was very exciting, so I had to pick up this piece as well. So lots of greens, sort of greeny, like yellowy greens, like a mossy colour. But yes, absolutely love this piece. And it's sort of very like mottled. Like I love the patterning on it, on this one. So there is that one. So if you notice, these are colours that I don't already own, so like I am allowed to be buying these. Then I picked up this piece. I wanted a piece for, so I'm doing the Lola Crow greenhouse, and I already have the Lola Crow's aquarium sal all kitted up and ready to go. But I've also purchased her aviary, so I needed a piece of fabric to go with the aviary. And we were sort of going back and forth over a few bits. I said I want something fun, like it doesn't have to match necessarily the fabric. I want something that'll be a bit more, you know, just out there, a bit more fun. And she picked up this piece. I was like, you know what, that is perfect. So this is like apple blossoms. It's like pinks and greens. And I thought stitching it this way would work great, because on this side of the chart, there is a peacock with lots of greens in the tail. So that would go on the pink side, and then some of the pinky stuff would go on the green side. But yes, so that is a piece of 28 count linen that I picked up for, you know, whenever I get round to starting the aviary. But then I picked up this piece, which is for my New Year New Start. I also got the threads from Lindsay that came for that. So this is an opalescent sort of beigey colour. It's sort of very mottled with sort of, you know, browns and sort of there's some greys in there and some browns, so sort of very, you know, would match that start quite well. And then this chart, which I've been wanting for a little while, which is the same Sisters Apothecary. But yeah, so you know what, I could even stitch that on that bright green that I had. Okay, well, or even on the purple and use a white thread instead of a black. Decisions. But yeah, so that was all from the lovely Megan. Oh, let me pop that around there. Whoop. And then we had Rachel, who was there, who is Talking Dog Stitchery. I picked up some more goodies from. So she has the threads there, so I picked up some of the threads I need. That one was for the acorn gathering. Acorn, the squirrel, cottage garden threads one. Then I picked up some of these because they are bumblebees themed. I do have the beehive box. I can't remember who does the boxes. Like the block party pin cushions. So they're for that one. And then I picked up a couple of charts as well from so another one of these bees. So this is the sleeping bee and the blue flower. So I already have the quilting bee, and I do want to get the Tudor bee, which I believe is the one that Jenna, Red-Headed Stitcher, has not long finished. So that is on the list. I saw this is from Putini, which are some very cute little animals. And then I've seen some of these ones, and it has been on my list for a little while, but then obviously I saw it on the stall and had to pick it up. So this is the the Book of Warrior Queens collection. So it's just quite a few of these book page collections. I know there's one with the fox on, there's one with the frog, it's a red one, but there's quite a collection of these that look very cute. So yes. And then Bumblebee Etchings, which is a hand, heart and hand. I know a few people have done some of the floral etchings. I think Sherry from Just So Sherry has done these, but I know a couple of people have. But yeah, I saw the Bumblebee one. I really like that beehive. So yeah, I'll have to get that one. And then I also picked up, she has some of the primitive hair fabrics. So this is called Royal Bee. It is a 30 count linen. Let's take it out and show you. But it's covered. I'll pick out the fabric. But yes, but it's covered in bumblebees. I thought, you know, I have so many bumblebee sort of charts and things, so that yeah, I need to see if I can stitch any of them on this fabric. I don't know if there's a specific design that the primitive hair has done that would go on this fabric, because I know a lot of her fabrics are made to go with certain, a lot of her charts she dyes the fabrics for to go together. But yeah, so I'm not sure, so I might have to look and see. But either way, I can have a look at some of the bumblebee pieces that I've got to stitch on. And then the last thing I've got to show is this here, which I don't know where the original chart's gone, so I will pop a picture in. So I picked up from the D-Stash, I believe last year, the Banyan Cat from Our Forest Stitchery. So this Ema, the Irish stitcher, had finished this and then popped the chart and the leftover threads on the D-Stash table. However, there wasn't enough left of the threads to do a whole nother design. Some of them there was quite a bit left, but some of the threads there was very much not much left. So I had a look at ordering the threads from Our Forest, but the postage was going to be quite expensive. So I thought, well, surely, I can have a look at some other hand-dyed threads and kind of go for the same vibe. So I went over there, and like I said, I hadn't been feeling great. So the lovely Susie stepped up and said, just give me the threads and I'll work it out, sort of thing. And let me untangle everything. So yeah, so she did. So these were the threads that it called for. So there's 7, I believe. I think one of them I only had like half a strand left. So they're the colours that it called for, and this is what she has subbed out for me as the week's dye works. So let's see if I can. So I don't think the threads that they had have names, but I can tell you what the symbol is because that's what's on here. So, but I don't know if that's going to help. But I will read out what we've chosen, and obviously if you want to kit up like that, you can do so as well. So we've gone for cognac. It's one of the oranges. Oh, let's try and pick them up. Cognac. There is daylily, butterscotch, cornbread, monkey grass, blue heron, oh I'm getting there, and charcoal. And there we go, they're the threads that we've chosen to go. Whoop, try not to drop any instead. So yeah, so I say we've chosen, Susie chose them for me, and then sort of laid them out and said this is what I've chosen, and I was like, yeah, that's a perfect match, we'll do that. So yes, so thank you very much again, Susie, for sorting all those for me. But yes, so that means I can start that one soon as well. So lots of things to start, lots of things to be going on with. However many of them I manage to squeeze into my plans next year, I'm not sure. But, you know, we'll see. But I do think that I'm all done. Fine. Which is good, because I think that was about an hour just of all the retreat things. So I know not everyone's into watching, like, shopping and all. And I also know I have quite a lot this time. But as anyone that does watch my videos knows that I very rarely have any shopping to show, because I tend to only really shop at the retreats. So it's not very often that I do have lots of things to show you. So hopefully that wasn't too bad. I'm looking around just trying to check that that is everything. I think that's everything. I hope I haven't forgotten anything. Lots to be getting on with. Lots of new stash. Lots of new projects, and yeah, so there we go. So into Halloween, which is our spooky month. Hoping to have another finish this month, maybe another start. I might start one of those Mill Hills for Halloween. Stay tuned, and yeah, it's got to the end and I'm like madly trying to go through like a checklist in my head of like, have I done everything before I say ta-ra? But no, I think we're going to stick there, and if I've forgotten anything now, I think the video is long enough that it's just tough. Like if I've forgotten stuff, it's going to have to wait. But yeah, so thank you all very much for watching, if indeed you still are, and I will see you all soon. But yeah, so yeah, so thank you. So love you lots. Bye.